content here last year. If we could just get an opening comment on your return to Memphis.
Excited to come back. It's last year was the first time I played the event, as you said, and I love the golf course. It's makes me wish I would have been here before. But great golf course, great tournament, and what's more important, you're playing for a great cause. FedEx St. Jude Hospital and the event itself, right? I mean, you actually raising awareness for the people that need it, and having the hospital like this, thanks to FedEx, where people won't have to pay a single cent on the treatment they get for whatever they have. It's important to have all over the world, right? So it's I'm happy. This year we're doing the birdies for FedEx, and I'm joining myself doing $1,000 per birdie and $5,000 per eagle. So hopefully I can have a really good week and donate a lot and try to help all those in need.
We've got WGC this week, a major next week, and the FedEx Cup playoffs right around the corner. Could you just speak to the importance of this stretch that we have coming up, a busy stretch of tournaments?
It's busy because right after that as well, shortly after we have the U.S. Open. So it's 6 really big events in an 8-week stretch. Good golf to be played. I hope that's the thing. It's one of those situations where somebody could get hot and possibly run away with World Golf Championship, majors, possibly the FedEx Cup, or not everything, but different players having something big come up, right? So it will be a good time to start playing good golf, and hopefully I'm one of those. At the same time, we're going to have to hopefully stay mentally fresh, rest and be able to relax after rounds to play our best golf when you need it as well and towards the end. So it all starts with this week though, so focus on this tournament and hopefully having a chance to win on Sunday.
Great. Now we'll take some questions from the media that we have on the line. If you've got a question, please type your name into the chat window and I will call on you. We'll just give those a minute to come in. We'll start with Rex Hoggard of Golf Channel. Go ahead, Rex.
Jon, I'm curious, after the victory at Memorial, what do you think you celebrated most, the victory or getting to world number one?
Didn't have time to celebrate any of them, especially with how things are in Arizona right now. I don't know. I think it's a combination of things, right? I mean, I was fully aware that Sunday that if I won the tournament, I was going to become number one in the world. So I think it's more everything combined in my performance on Sunday. I celebrated, right? At the same time, as being number one in the world after Seve, it's a great thing. It's a consequence of playing good golf throughout the last 4 years, not only last week. And it's something special to win that event last week, right? I mean, one of the strongest fields assembled on a PGA Tour event, the conditions, being Jack's event, throughout this time, it just made it a special week. So each one has obviously its merits to be celebrated, but I think I celebrated everything together, whatever I celebrated, right? Because obviously in only 1 week off, the mindset was pretty quickly on what was to come.
Thank you.
Next, we will go to Doug Ferguson, Associated Press.
Jon, kind of a twofold question, if you will.
No, you only get one.
What it means to be number one. And secondly, and kind of related to that, when it was Dustin or Brooks or Rory or whoever, did you look at them as the best player in the world, and do you look at yourself as that now?
See, I've heard that question before, right? It's almost a consequence of how you've played in a long time, right? It's not like just the last 2 weeks or whatever. But getting to number one in the world, you need to play good golf consecutively for a very long time. And I've played consistent golf worldwide for the last 4 years. I think nowadays it's really tough to determine one player. Because, yeah, Brooks is having a hard year right now. He's not playing his best, but he has won 4 majors in the last few years. Rory played amazing last year. It's hard to dictate one player alone. But, it would be foolish of me to say that I'm not here thinking I'm the best player. And I think all the great players out there who's gotten to this point or are playing out that they believe they're the best player, right? And I think in golf you need to prove that every week. So I think every week we go out there trying to prove that we're the best players and trying to win. And I think that's how I go. Now, what was the first part? Sorry, I kind of forgot.
You're on mute, Doug.
What was I couldn't hear you?
I'm making fun of Facey and I can't find the mute button. Sorry about that. Love you, David. Just what it means to you to be number one.
It's an honor. You know, it's a goal. It's something I set out to accomplish a long time ago, and it's a true honor, and it's humbling to be here, knowing how hard I've worked to get to this point and be the first Spaniard since Sevi, knowing how some of the greatest golfers in history of Spain and Europe haven't been able to get there. So it's unique, and even my close friend Phil, you know, 5-time major champion, wasn't able to get there. It is true that, you know, some of those players had Tiger at the time, and obviously nobody's going to take that from them, but still doesn't take away from what I've done myself. Now, at the same time, getting here, it's great. You know, I've played great golf the last 4 years, but I could only help to think I need to keep playing that good or better to hopefully stay here for a long time, right? It's kind of what I've set out to be in that sense, right? It's not only to get here, but to stay here hopefully for a long time. And that's the goal for, I think, a lot of us, right? Try to be consistently good and play good golf throughout our career and hopefully win as much as possible while we're playing.
Thanks, John.
Next, we'll go to Dylan DeChair, golf.com. Go ahead, Dylan.
Hey, John. Yeah, you sort of just started to address it, but I wonder if there's any sense of, you know, letdown or that it's a tricky thing now that you've made it to number one, which was the goal for so long, or if it just shifts your motivation and your goals a little bit.
It's a goal accomplished, and I think the only reason why I've gotten here this year, especially after quarantine, I think a lot of times I'm a person who resets his goals every year, right? So at the end of the season, I'll write new ones. And even during quarantine, I wrote new ones. And it was the first time when I stopped kidding myself and I acknowledged that I wanted to be number one in the world, and I wrote it as a goal. I always said it was a consequence of playing good golf, right? I'm like, oh, if I play good, it'll take care of itself. And it was the first time I kind of wrote and said, no, we have this time. If you play good golf, you can accomplish it. I made it a goal. But at the same time, like I said, it's not only to get there, it's to stay there, right? And to shift back to what I used to think, to stay there, I need to play good golf and hopefully win a lot every single week, right? It's a consequence of good play. So I'm here because of what I've done the last 4 years, and hopefully I can keep playing just as good for the next few, hopefully the next 20 if I can, to stay in this position, right? It's a week-to-week thing right now, so it's. I still not sure if I know how to deal with it, right? I've accomplished that, but I'm still thinking on, you know, WGCs, majors, FedEx Cup. There's a lot of good things to come that I want to accomplish as well. So I'm more focused on just following my process each and every day and my routines every single day. Just, you know, what's helped me get to here to just keep improving and becoming a better golfer.
Do you have any goal kind of, I want to be number one for a year, I want to be number one for 6 weeks, or you just want to keep, you know?
As long as I can, hopefully. That's a goal, as long as I can. It's, again, the process is to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday, trying to just keep improving and keep working right now, right? So I just got to keep doing the same thing. But again, it's a consequence of good play, so you got to play good golf to stay there and deserve it.
Next, we'll go to Mike McAllister, PGAtour.com.
Hey, John. Before the pandemic, this would have been the week of the Olympic men's competition. I'm just curious if you've given much thought to what it might be like to, you know, win an Olympic medal or just even compete in the Olympics. And have you spoken to Sergio or Rafa about their experiences in 2016?
I have not spoken to them since we've known for a while. We were not going to play the games this year. To me, it's a big deal to hopefully be an Olympian. It's not something golfers grew up with in their mind. It hasn't been in a very long time. So for most sports, or for almost every sport, being an Olympian or being an Olympic gold medalist is the pinnacle for many. Unfortunately, it's not that in golf yet, but I think given time, you'll get the recognition and importance that it deserves. And man, I hope so. I hope I can be one of those. I hope I can represent my country and win a gold medal for them. It's, you know, I've been fortunate to win gold medals around Europe and win a world championship for Spain as an amateur. And up until that point, you really didn't have anything afterwards as a pro. So I'm really excited, hopefully, to one day be an Olympian and hopefully bring a add a medal to the Spanish medal count as a golfer, which is something that wasn't a reality a few years back, and now it is. So it would be a true honor. And again, being a gold medalist, I mean, Justin Rose is the only one who can say that right now, and it's a very unique feel. I know golf, it's maybe different to the way we think some Olympic sports are, but still, you know, like, you are an Olympic gold medalist. It's as simple as that. It's a true honor that maybe, I don't know when, maybe in 10, 20, 50 years, we'll be like, wow, you know, Rosie was the first gold medalist winner in a very long time, and you'll get the recognition that it deserves.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Mark Giannato, Memphis Commercial Appeal. Go ahead.
Hey, Jon, you mentioned earlier that this is only the second time you've been here. A story came out a couple weeks ago about the tournament here a few years ago when Phil Mickelson made a bet on you and on how good he thought you were going to be. One, were you aware of that before the story came out? And then two, have you talked to Phil since the story came out about his confidence in you?
I've talked to Phil and Colt. And I remember when it happened because I think I had just played with Phil. I just played with Phil in Whisper Rock, and I think I was about to finish my senior year, I believe. And yeah, that's around that time when this, because this event used to be earlier in the year. So when this came out, when they came out with the bid, I was fully aware. I was fully aware he had bet in 2 years I'll be top 10 in the world. So it's and I was fully aware when I got inside the top 10. I actually let him know, like, hey, can I get a piece of that? Like, you know. So it's something I've been aware of, and I know Colt. I've played, you know, quite a bit of golf with Colt as well. Haven't talked about it with him, but yeah, I've been aware of this bit for a while.
And then just in general, for people here in Memphis, you know, this is all new, the protocols and with the PGA Tour coming to town. For you guys as golfers, for you personally, are you used to it now at this point? You know, 2 months into this restart, or is it still strange going, you know, playing with no fans and having to go through all the different testing and protocols?
Well, the only difference, right, is the testing and maybe just being more careful around the clubhouse or what you touch, making sure your hands are clean and wearing a mask, right? I'm not wearing one now because none of you guys will be able to understand what I'm saying, but that's a little bit different. But again, it should be what we do daily, even outside the golf course. So it's kind of imprinted into what we do now. And at least I've gotten used to the routine. I mean, I know when every time I travel to a new site Monday, I want to arrive before 5 o'clock so I can get my test done. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't have to think about it. The test, I wouldn't say it gets any easier itself. Still feels really intrusive. and yeah, you can't get used to that feel of the swab on your nose, but it's what we got to do. And we were lucky we can have a process like we do every single week. Traveling and what we do everywhere, right? So I think we should all be thankful and blessed that we're playing right now, and we're going to resume our season. And well, hopefully, if somebody's not used to it yet, hopefully they get used to it quick, because I feel like these protocols will be here for a long time. And I don't mind it at this point. You know, like I said, I always started with the base of being really thankful that we're playing golf. So I welcome it. It's what we're supposed to do, and that's what our reality is right now.
ABC 24. Go ahead, Clayton.
Hi, Jon. You mentioned St. Jude earlier. Just, you know, obviously first round is Thursday, but how different do you think it's going to be not having, you know, the St. Jude patients are such a prominent part of the tournament, usually not having them this year? That's going to be a pretty stark difference.
Yeah, I feel for the ones that want to be out here. You know, the ones that are golf fans and they want to be here supporting their favorite players and supporting the event, right? I feel for them in that sense. I still hope maybe we can see some of them at some point and visit them, and hope, you know, wish everybody a recovery.
Sorry, Jon, I think we're having an issue with the audio here.
The heck?
It's not on us. It's them. It's the.
Oh, I know. Kids. If we ever get through one of these without a problem. It's good now. Okay, you guys hear me okay?
He had to mute his microphone.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what I was saying, right? I feel more for the the St. Jude kids that want to be out here more than us. At the end of the day, we're still here to play golf and do our job. But you can always see the smile on their face when they get their favorite players around and they can get to talk to the players. And last year I popped into the wives were having a day with some of the kids on the 18th tent, and I went there to say hello to a few of them because they told me they were Spanish speakers, and just spent 10 minutes with them, and it puts a whole new perspective on life, right? It's one of the reasons why I've partnered with a foundation in Spain, Fundación Aladina, for those who can understand, who does the same thing, right? They work in Madrid with the hospital, and this I think the only paid expense cancer treatment for kids in Spain. I could be wrong, but if it's not the only one, it's one of the only ones. And throughout my tournaments, my little junior league in Spain, all the proceeds go to that foundation. So it's a cause that's important to me. I've always been a believer of helping the next generations and helping the kids, and it's a week that's definitely special for me.
We've got time for just a couple more. We'll go to Adam Schupak next. Go ahead, Adam. Adam, you're on mute. Sorry.
Sorry about that. John, your reign at number one potentially could be pretty short. Does it diminish the accomplishment in any way if you're just there for a very short time?
No. Like I said, it's a consequence of the good golf I played up until 2 weeks ago. So 4 years of good golf. So if I want to stay there from that moment on, I still need to play really good golf. So hopefully I can keep playing good and make it last a long time. If it doesn't, well, I keep working hard to win tournaments and get back on top again. It's like I said, you need to play really good golf continuously for a long time. So if I don't play good golf this week and somebody else does and they take the number one from me, it's because they deserve it. It's as simple as that.
Adam, sorry, I had to put you on mute again because of the audio issues. Just unmute yourself, ask a question, and then mute yourself again.
Okay. What was it that made you this time decide to write down a goal to be number one?
Well, I've heard many times on how, you gotta pretend like every week is the same week, right? Like not give more importance to one week than the next and this and that. And I think I was kidding myself, but not directly just making it a goal, right? Again, it is true that you need to play good to get to that spot, but I just kind of, just verbalized it, right? Put it out there to the world, or at least for myself to know. And it kind of just, I think like it just really sat on my brain. And each day through quarantine, the process, what I did every single day was to play good golf to get to that point, right? So I think it just helped me how to have, kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel, if that makes any sense, just a guiding point of what to do every day. Not that I don't have it, it just helped have that.
Next question, Steve DeMeglio, USA Today. Go ahead, Steve.
John, a couple of ones. You alluded to the 6 big tournaments in the next 9 weeks. Do you have a different plan to how to rest mentally and physically in this stretch?
No, nothing special. I'll probably keep doing what I've been doing right now. I would say I'm out of quarantine. I'm in really good shape, so I feel physically and mentally strong enough to do what I need to do the next few weeks. And each one has different routines, right? Like I've said many times, some people might meditate, some people play video games. I do both things. Whatever might help your brain or your mind just kind of stay fresh throughout this whole thing, right? It's as simple as that. And then on those weeks off that we have, hopefully replenish and just recover as much as possible. But it's like I said, it's a process. So every day counts, and what I do today is going to affect probably what I do a month from now. So this started a long time ago, not just today.
Okay. And after what happened on the 16th hole on Sunday at Memorial, are you by any chance thinking about doing something differently when you get into the rough, especially with what we got coming up supposedly at TPC Harding and at other tournaments?
No. I mean, there was a reason why I was number one in short game that week at Memorial. And what happened. I'm not going to add any comments to it, but it is what it is. It's not going to change my routine. Maybe be more careful, yes, but some weeks you're going to have to think about it. A lot of those weeks were in Bermuda rough, where the ball on the rough is a little bit different, the way you approach it is a little bit different. Harding Park, we'll see. I mean, I don't think I am. I'm always careful, and again, I didn't see that ball move, so how am I gonna know what I'm doing when I'm not looking at the ball, right? Or just looking away? It's hard to tell. I mean, if we asked everybody that's looking away if that ball moved or not, they don't know, so why would they change anything that they don't know happened, right? So it's a little bit like that. Maybe be a little bit more careful, assess the lie better, yeah, but I don't think much needs to be changed.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll take our final question from Kat Ortiz at PJ Tour Entertainment. Go ahead, Kat.
Hi, John. TPC Southwind every year ranks pretty high in water balls. When you're thinking about going into the week and dealing with that element of water, what's your strategy?
Oof, well, a lot depends on the wind as well. I know it can get pretty windy out here, and I think you have the hazard on 3, which doesn't affect the tee. It affects the second shot. 4 as well. I mean, you need to hit really, really good iron shots out here. And the thing is, like I said, it's Bermuda rough, and sometimes hitting into the rough is not the best option. You can get flyers, you can just lose control of the ball and end up in a pretty bad spot. So it just shows, like most of the TPC courses we play throughout the year, that tee to green, you need to play really good golf. And luckily, it's one of my strengths. Hopefully, I can keep doing it. But, you know, if not off the tee, I think those second shots into the green are extremely important this week. And it's, I think, what you're alluding to, right? All of these hazards that we haven't played, most of them are on the second shot. So it's important that we keep it tight on those iron shots and be smart. A lot of times could be planning, a lot of times could be just the way you're striking the ball. Sometimes you're hitting it better than others. And some of the times could be just pure luck. But if we get wind, obviously it's going to be a lot more difficult. If we get really good conditions and no wind, you just need to step up there and hit good shots with no doubt. There's no, you know, each one has their strategy. You still need to shoot a pretty low number, I think, where Brooks got to 15, 16 under last year. I know I had a really good round the first day, so the scores are out there, and you need to shoot low to be able to win here. So can't really be scared of the water in that sense.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that does it for us here, John. Thank you. We appreciate the time, and best of luck this week.
Thank you.